Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. AngloGold Ashanti's strategy to develop a new way to safely and profitably extract gold from South Africa's deep and dangerous mines is starting to take shape. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer tells us more. Welcome, Martin.
Thanks, Shannon.
Now, AngloGold Ashanti is championing methods to mine gold at very deep underground, and they've already got a mine at over 4 kilometers. Can you tell us about some of the new methods that they're thinking of?
Well, they're going away from blasting and they're going towards boring. So it's raised boring. So instead of using explosives down in the mine, which shakes the whole mine up, which actually makes it more vulnerable to people working there, they're going to horizontally bore. Using technology, we normally bore vertically with those raised bores. They've done a test and they found that it works to bore horizontally and to just take out the gold each time without taking out rock that hasn't got any gold. So this could revolutionize mining because it will also take the people out of the vulnerable areas, out of those stopes, as they call them. And, you know, it will be a situation where they can have rock round the clock, literally, because we don't mine competitively at the moment because we have about 100 days cut out of our mining cycle, whereas our competitors elsewhere in the world, they mine 365 days a year. And also, you know, we don't have that same number of hours under there because it takes so long to get to the face. So if you move to a automated situation and you put the logistics in place to support it, you're going to have a new birth for our gold mining industry. We know that we've still got a lot of gold in reserve. We know the reserves are there. They're just inaccessible, and where they are accessible, it's costly. Technically, this AngloGold Ashanti initiative has already got the thumbs up. So technically, they know they can do it. Commercially, they're working on that to see that it's economic, and the tick is already half there. So I think that we're actually onto quite a new era for our gold. If we can get that gold out that was previously too costly to get out, too dangerous to get out, you know, we virtually have Johannesburg too. You know, our whole existence here was built on gold. You know, it's like San Francisco. When you go to San Francisco, it's built on gold. Joburg, this area, Gauteng, is the result of gold mining. If you can have a rebirth and a very efficient one, it's going to be a tremendous boost for the country's economy.
Now, if the mines move to mechanized mining, what does that mean for labor?
And you know that they want to jump right over mechanization because you'll find that mechanization has been introduced quite extensively elsewhere in the world. And elsewhere in the world now people are locked into expensive mechanization. They've designed their mines around this mechanization. The initiative from AngloGold Ashanti leapfrogs right over automation. So it goes from manual to, right over mechanization. It goes from manual to automated. And this means that you're going to have no people in the danger areas. This is going to be done automatically. You'll have a lot of people servicing the equipment, so exactly how the labor will play out, but it'll certainly be a new labor paradigm. It will be fewer people in more highly paid jobs and a more sophisticated way of mining, and heaven forbid, you know, no deaths, because, you know, that hurts the management of mines, it hurts labor, it hurts South Africa. Every time we read that someone has died in one of these mines, I mean, we know how many people have died there already. I mean, recently, Wits said they've put up a statue to the miner, the South African miner, and Bobby Gotzel got up and he said, no, you're not going to get away with that. What we need is like a Vietnam War memorial. You've got to do something far more elaborate. I mean, with each miner's name that has given life so that we can have this prosperity. I mean, so many people have died to create this economy that we've got, and the idea is that don't kill anymore. You know, put people into higher paid jobs, doing more technical work, retrained. It's a different approach, but don't let them go into those dangerous stopes where they can be killed, particularly after blasting. Because why they can only work 10 hours a day, you take a long time to get down there. You then drill, and then you put in your detonation systems, and then you set those off, but you've got to then leave the area. When you are out of the danger area and out of the mine, there's an explosion, but it creates so much dust that you can't go down there for many hours. So you can't mine continuously. With a new system of boring rather than blasting, it's 24 hours a day, it's 365 days a year, and it's gold and only gold. So it's going to be like gold on tap. I mean, this is going to be a revenue like we've never seen from gold mining.
And I suppose they want to go 5 kilometers underground. You wouldn't want to send people down there anyway, so this is the perfect solution.
It's a perfect solution. You don't want people going into these hot areas. You know, rather let machines do it. And technically, they could go to 6 kilometers, 7 kilometers. You know, how deep do you want to go? Now, you know, South Africa was always told we've got the greatest gold reserves. We used to be number 1, but we've fallen to the number 4th position, I think 4. You know, China is now number 1, and then you get America and Australia coming in between us because we've fallen back on our production because the way we mine is just unsustainable, and we've got to go to a new approach.
Now, besides the obvious safety issues of mining at depth, what other reasons are there for mechanized mining?
Well, we cannot carry on the way we're doing it. It's just becoming so costly, not only in terms of lives, we lose lives, but it's inefficient. The way we are mining, we leave so many pillars behind in order to make sure that, you know, the roof stays up. And then we often try and mine those pillars in reverse, which is very, very dangerous. What is being proposed now is that even if the vein is very narrow, now we are narrow vein gold miners, but generally, you know, the thickness of that reef, they call it, that's the gold bearing rock, can be 2 meters, you know, which is not that great, but because, you know, you see elsewhere in the world the reef is bigger, and even elsewhere in South Africa on occasion it's far bigger, but it can go down to, you know, less than 50 centimeters, considerably less than 50 centimeters. You don't want to leave that gold behind, but to get to it you've got to create a space big enough for humans to get in. Now that won't have to happen anymore. You will just take out the gold in that vein, and then you will backfill with a material that's going to be stronger than concrete. So Mother Nature won't even know that the gold has been taken out, and it will create a lot of stability underground and really put the focus back on efficiency and revenue for South Africa, which gold is still a currency. You know, you can imagine what the Reserve Bank's eyes must be like, you know, if this does come off, you know, they'd have so much more access to gold and exports of gold. It could change a lot in South Africa and give us that big social dividend, you know, that we're looking for, so that we can float all boats and lift the country's economy to a much better and wider spread type of wealth distribution.
That sounds like the way to go.
There's still some way to go. I mean, they've been working on it for 2 years now, but when you speak to them, they say there's been no going back. And in fact, in the archives, they found a document going back to 1974, which indicates that in 1974, this solution was proposed. And all of a sudden, when they got to the backfill point, they said, no, we couldn't, there was no backfill solution. But looking at it now, they're saying, what must have happened is there must have been political intervention to say, you know, you can't go ahead with this. Because I suppose there would have been too many job losses at that stage. But I think the era has changed. You know, people are looking for quality jobs, and jobs where you can come home to your family afterwards and you don't die in the process. So I think that the time has come for this change, and they see from 1974 they actually had the solution. But they can now implement it. And I'm sure that, well, by 2014, they're thinking of introducing it selectively. And then by 2017, they could roll it out to all new areas of mining.
And you think how quickly technology changes, it could only get better.
It could only get better. I mean, look at the automotive industry, how that has advanced. When you think mining is still in the 19th century, handheld drilling. So it will be a big leap. And it seems to be a leap with proven technology. Other sectors have proved up all the technology. All you've got to do is design the mine in such a way and apply this technology in such a way that it can mine at depth.
Well, thank you very much, Martin.
It's a great pleasure, Shannon.
That's the show for today. Join us again next time for more news and insight into what's happening in the mining world.